Welcome to the Balanced Flux podcast. I'm Tenny McLeod, and these are my takes on cultivating mental health, enhancing personal productivity, thereby living a balanced life. I hope that you'll be inspired to expand the quality of your life and in turn, empower others along the way. Expect new episodes on Sundays at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. And remember that you can always get more information on the website at balancedflux.com. So join me now and every week on this inspiring and fulfilling journey through the Balanced Flux podcast. Imagine you're at a bustling farmer's market and you spot two stalls selling honey. Now one sign reads 80% pure natural honey, while the other proclaims 20% impurities and additives. Well, which stall are you more likely to approach? This scenario, in essence, is the framing effect, where a piece of information presented in different ways can significantly sway your choices, even if the underlying options are identical. It's like looking at the same painting in different lights. The painting remains the same, but the lighting changes your perception. Think of the framing effect as the spin put on information. A news headline can highlight the positives or negatives of the same event, leading you to form different opinions. This effect plays on your risk and loss aversion tendencies. You tend to avoid risks when presented with potential gains and seek risks to avoid losses, even if the choices are objectively the same. It's the classic glass half full or half empty scenario. The amount of water is the same, but the way you describe it changes your feelings about it. Positive framing highlights the benefits or gains from a particular choice, like a skincare product advertising its 90% success rate in reducing wrinkles. Conversely, negative framing emphasizes the potential losses or drawbacks. The same skincare product could instead highlight that 1 in 10 users saw no significant improvement. Then there's the risky choice framing, where choices are presented in terms of risk aversion by emphasizing the potential gains, or loss aversion by highlighting the potential losses, such as a financial advisor framing an investment as having a 70% chance of profit or a 30% chance of loss. See, individuals generally exhibit risk aversion, preferring certainty over uncertainty. However, effective framing that emphasizes potential gains can encourage them to accept certain risks they might otherwise avoid. Conversely, highlighting potential losses can trigger loss aversion, making individuals more hesitant to engage in risky choices due to the fear of losing what they already have. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for comprehending how framing can significantly influence decision-making. Now you might think this is all very interesting, and you're probably immune to these framing effects anyway. However, everyone is susceptible to them, regardless of how rational or intelligent they think they are. It's a subconscious bias that's hardwired into how you process information. Moreover, framing isn't always manipulative. While it can be used to sway your opinion, it's also a natural part of communication. How you present information can simply reflect your perspective or emphasis. Framing doesn't just affect major decisions. It influences your everyday choices, from what you buy at the grocery store to how you perceive your daily tasks. When you become aware of the framing effect, you can consciously evaluate information from different angles, leading to more informed and objective decisions. It's like having an X-ray vision to see through the surface of a presentation and familiarize yourself with its core options. Understanding framing also allows you to communicate more effectively by tailoring your message to your audience and desired outcome, becoming a more persuasive speaker and writer capable of framing your ideas in the most impactful way. Furthermore, Recognizing how framing affects your perceptions can lead to greater self-awareness and a more balanced perspective. It's like holding up a mirror to your thought processes, allowing you to identify and challenge your biases. However, being unaware of it can make you vulnerable to manipulation by others who deliberately frame information to insidiously influence your choices. The framing effect can also lead to distorted perceptions of reality, as you might focus on certain aspects of a situation while neglecting others. It's like looking at a map that only shows the mountains and ignores the valleys. Overcoming the framing effect requires conscious effort and critical thinking. It can be challenging to sift through the presentation and objectively evaluate the underlying information. Identifying when framing is being used can be tricky, as it's often subtle and embedded within the style and tone of the presentation itself. It's like trying to spot a chameleon camouflaged in its surroundings. Even when you do become aware of it, overcoming your ingrained biases can be challenging. Maintaining objectivity does take a lot of practice. Being able to consistently and objectively evaluate information without being swayed by framing is no walk in the park. But by becoming a more conscious and critical consumer of information, you gain control over your decisions and perceptions, allowing you to see through the world more clearly and make choices that align with your true values and goals. So, how can you become a master of framing, or at least not fall prey to it? One technique is reframing. Actively rephrase information in different ways to see how it changes your perception. It's like flipping a coin to see both sides before making a decision. Another approach is to expose yourself to diverse sources of information and opinions to get a more balanced, unfiltered view. It's like looking at a sculpture from different angles to appreciate its full form. Always consider the source of information and its potential motives for framing it in a particular way. Bear in mind that the framing effect is a powerful cognitive bias that can significantly influence your choices and perceptions. When you identify and understand how framing works, you can become a more conscious and critical thinker, making informed decisions and living a more balanced life. It's like having a mental compass that guides you through the sea of information, helping you navigate toward your desired destination, even when everything around you may seem the same. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Balanced Flux podcast. A new episode drops every Sunday at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. You can also listen to the podcast and extend your support through the website at balancedflux.com. This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. Kindly seek the appropriate care and treatment from licensed professionals. Do join the community on social channels and send your messages there or via email. Either way, if this podcast sparks some form of inspiration, I'd be more than glad to hear from you. Thank you for sharing your time and mind space. Your presence and engagement truly make this journey even more fulfilling and rewarding. I'm Tenny McLeod, signing off for now, and until the next time, stay safe, best wishes, and keep striving to achieve your balanced flux.